it just sounded so funny that you're like, I think I'm now mature enough to watch Lord of the Rings. Like,
No,
what
but
does that
like pay
mean?
attention to it and like sit through those long,
As
really
we're
long
talking
scenes
about
of
the importance of sitting through important movies and watching things fully tuned in, and you're here being
yeah,
like,
but all
I
right,
couldn't sit through it. I couldn't sit through the story. One of the greatest fantasy stories ever created by man.
Hey everybody, welcome to Nerdy and Nice. I'm John, that's Lacey, and we're here to talk to you about all the things we love in movies, TV, and pop culture. We have some cool trailers to get into, including Scream 7 and the long-awaited trailer for Stranger Things 5. We also going to get into what we're watching and some of the latest news, including some concerning directive as to how shows are made today, which I'm sure Lacey will be passionately speaking about as she shared that story with me earlier. But Lacey, how you doing? What's going on?
I'm good. So, full disclosure, we're recording this the night before Halloween, so I'm still in my Halloween vibes from
You haven't
TRB.
changed. Yeah.
I haven't changed. Still got the pumpkins. You know,
You
it just
went
looks good.
you went on a Halloween weekend bender and you just like
Oh,
rolled up Monday, but
clearly, that's what it is. You know me, going wild.
um I've seen you
But
go
I'm
wild
good.
a couple of times, but yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
So critics are in with the latest Knives Out, and Wake Up Dead Man has debuted with a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes with critics, Lacey, which sandwiches it in between Glass Onion, which had 91, and the original Knives Out, which had 97.
Wow.
Um, I know
Still
you
in
and
the
I talked.
90s.
Still in the 90s. You and I talked about this trailer. We felt that it looked like it was going to be stronger than Glass Onion, to be determined on the original. So this wasn't really necessarily surprising to me. I imagine it's going to be well received. Rian Johnson tends to make really good films. So
Mhm.
any surprises here on this? Is this some added reassurance? I think we were both pretty dialed in that we're going to watch this when it hits Netflix.
Yeah, this isn't surprising at all. This movie looks amazing. When we talked about the trailer, I was like, his films just look like you can take a screenshot at any point and it's like a picture.
Yeah.
It's beautifully shot. Uh, Everything has been thought through from the casting to the story to the visuals. They're not just churning these out. These are a part of a anthology of stories that he's looking to tell, and this is no different. So I'm not surprised. Rian Johnson, despite people's thoughts about The Last Jedi, critics loved it. So he is a critical darling, and I believe an
Yeah.
Oscar winner. Didn't he win an Oscar for the first Knives Out
I
for
don't
writing?
think he won. I think he was nominated.
I thought he won for it.
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna double check that so I don't speak wrong.
All right.
I know
You
he
can
was
double check it.
nominated.
Yeah, he was nominated for
He
best
was
screenplay.
nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Original Screenplay in 2020.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. One day he'll get some hardware.
Mm.
But
Mhm.
do you want to talk some trailers?
I do. Let's do it.
Oh god, I love that movie.
All right, we got two big ones here. We'll kick it off with the biggest. We finally have the trailer for Stranger Things 5. We spoke about that behind the scenes clip that came out a couple weeks ago. But now the official trailer is here, and Lacey, this thing looks massive.
It really does. Like big production.
Yeah. Stranger Things 5, I know you're going to probably try to get some sort of a rewatch in, but we're both ready to go for this thing, I think. What was your thoughts on the trailer? Was it a good trailer? And did it do anything for your hype about Stranger Things and maybe steer your speculation in one way or another? Because I know you and I love to do that too.
I don't have to be hyped anymore. I think I'm as hyped as I could be for this. I would say that I was more hyped, I think, for Squid Game, the final
Okay.
season, than this, just because I really, really enjoyed that series. And I feel like while I was the biggest diehard fan for season 1 and season 2, I think I dropped off for season 3 and then got back into it in season 4, but not in
Yeah.
the way that I was originally. So going into this, I'm looking forward to the conclusion of the story and to see where these characters have gone. And I'm excited, but I wouldn't say like I'm like super hyped like I would be for Star Wars or Hunger Games or I guess other franchises. But I think this was a good trailer. I was surprised how long it was. I thought they were going to give us another shorter trailer, and then I looked at the time and it was like 2 minutes 46 seconds. I was like, "Oh my god, they're giving us like a trailer."
Yeah.
I think it's, the typical nostalgic pulls while having you question who's dying, big spectacle with an 80s pop ballad. It looks good.
Yeah, it does. I believe it's Queen Who Wants to Live Forever. Which I mean, it's a big song. And
Yeah.
this just looks like a massive event. And we know how long these episodes are going to be. We know what the budget is, getting upwards of $500 million, and you see all of it. I think the shots that really made me be like, "Holy cow!" were just seeing the all-out warfare happening in the real world outside of the Upside Down, and you have Demogorgons. It's almost like what they all went through when they went into the Upside Down is now here in the real world, and everyone's going to be dealing with that. It looks like the town of Hawkins maybe even like
In a
quarantined
lockdown.
off.
Yeah.
Where they're sort of all trapped there. I love the fact that they are telling us that they are doing what they were going to set out to do, which is get all the kids back together to work together as much as possible in this final one, which I think is really important for them to do. They've been off on these pairings and different groupings, and now they can all finally get back together. It looks like it's going to be heavy, and we sort of knew that. I didn't try to do too much speculation about what's going to happen to who, but for some reason, Lacey, and tell me if you disagree with this, I know we see Vecna in that very slow, dramatic reveal that shows he is now physically in the real world as well. And
Yeah, because he finds Will.
he finds Will, and he handles Will the same way he handled every kid that he killed in season 4. The exact same way, physically, holding him up, elevating him, bringing him to him.
Well, he said, "I'm going to need to take you one more time," right? Or use you one more time is the line.
You need to help me one more
One
time
more
or something
time.
like that.
I feel like he's going to possess him or something.
Yeah, so that makes me feel like Will's actually safe in a weird way.
I think he's dying. I think Will's donezo.
I have a really hard time coming to terms with that. So I hope you're wrong, and I hope I'm right. I do think I do still think 11 is going to be an ultimate sacrifice.
I just hope
mainly,
Steve doesn't die. I'm the Steve girl. I don't want Steve to die.
So if you can put your safe bubble around one character, it's Steve.
Steve.
That is interesting. I'm going to go with Dustin. Dustin can't die.
Nothing's
can't kill
happening to Dustin. Nothing's happening to that kid.
Yeah.
Goofy,
all right. So let me flip that then. So you're protecting Steve. You think Dustin is 100% in the clear, which I agree with you.
Mike's fine. Lucas is fine.
Is there anybody that you think besides Will, who you seem to think is a goner, that you think is also? Is it 11? Is it Hopper?
So here's the thing. When you talk about the finale and the reactions of the cast members, they said they were all sobbing. So it has to be a character that they all either worked with or like. So that's why I'm saying Will, because he's like the through line of this story. He's the first kid that got pulled into the Upside Down, went missing, started this whole thing off. I think he's gonna die. I think 11's gonna have to go because she's kind of the other side of Vecna. She's like the creator of Vecna. So as long as she's alive, I feel like there's a weird kind of she's connected to him.
Yep.
I don't think Hopper's gonna die because they've already done that. They've done the Hopper's dead thing. They can't do it again. My thought would be maybe Joyce sacrifices herself to be like, I need, because then Hopper's alive, but Joyce isn't. But then Joyce would, because she's the mom, sacrificing herself for her son, who ends up dying anyway. The only other person that's kind of a throwaway to me that like would suck, but it's like not the end of the world is Ethan Hawke's daughter, Maya Hawke, whatever her name is.
Robin.
I think Robin's one of those characters that like you'd be like, "Oh no, not Robin," but like it wouldn't really change the overall series because she's only been in it for a little bit.
I feel like, yeah, if Robin goes, it's not enough. Like there has to be a bigger pain point
Maybe Lucas dies for
for Max.
Max. Yeah, which they had again the elevator type scenario where they're in the
Yeah.
elevator and they're like, "Oh my god," and the dog's coming and the doors have to shut in time. That's like such a scary movie like, "Oh, Jurassic
Oh
Park,
yeah.
shut the doors."
Yeah, I agree. I think either Jonathan or Steve have to go, and I'm leaning towards they're gonna kill Steve because what I said recently was we know Jonathan's family, we know what they've all been through. Whereas Steve, we didn't meet his family. He's sort of like the Han Solo, where it's like he achieved his purpose and he became a good guy. And is there much left to his story? So I wonder if Nancy ultimately ends up with Jonathan again and Steve dies, or does Jonathan die and then Steve ends up with Nancy?
I know, I'm saying basically Jonathan dies, Will dies, Joyce dies, and that whole family's
Yeah,
gone.
you're killing the whole Byers family. Yeah.
But the thing about Steve is, and this is going not necessarily off of like hints in the show, this is going purely on the full Duffers interview that they just did with Variety. And I watched all the videos and everything. They go on a big, long tangent about Barb and about how they didn't realize Barb was such a big deal. And so they killed her, not thinking anything of it. And then Netflix went to them and was like, "How can we bring Barb back?" And they're like, "Why would we bring her back? She's dead."
Yeah.
And they said they got a lot of flack from Netflix about like, you can't leave Barb. She deserved better. Like everybody wants this. Kind of like that executive push for things that maybe people don't necessarily need in the story, but what fans want.
Yeah.
And I know that they had said that initially Steve was a character they were going to kill, and then they didn't kill. I have a feeling they're not going to ever kill Steve because he's such a fan favorite that Netflix might be like, "Look, you can kill whoever you want, just don't kill Steve."
Interesting. Yeah.
Like I could see that being the thing. Netflix is like, "We'll give you all this money, but just don't kill Steve." There's a couple characters you can't kill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think Mike Wheeler's safe. I think he's like
Mike's safe, yeah.
he's like your main good guy of the
He's
kids
Sean
in a
Astin
way.
in Goonies. He's like the
Yeah,
main kid.
yeah, he's the Leonardo of the
Mikey.
Turtles
Yeah.
sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, I do think the trailer looks great. The special effects look even better than the last season. My only concern is that I hope it's not so epic that we get sort of lost in the sauce with the
The
story they're trying
military
to tell.
stuff's a lot. It's like a
Yeah.
lot of military
Yeah.
stuff, which I understand that comes with the space of alien sci-fi, especially 80s movies is like, oh, the military gets involved. Oh, it was actually the military's fault. Like that's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
But man, just seeing them in lockdown and like under like this kind of like militarized zone, I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Because originally it was like the cops were kind of the bad guys and they'd get away from the cops and, you know, they did their own thing. And now it's like they're stuck there.
Yeah, the trailer already has as of recording this over 7 million views just on the official YouTube channel. It's probably gone everywhere online. That's where I watched it. And it's going to do monster numbers. I don't think they're concerned about that. I think really their only concern is what Finn Wolfhard joked about, which is, you know, we don't want a backlash like Game of Thrones received. We hope the fans love how we end the story. So that's what it all comes down to. Are they going to land the plane? Are they going to make fans feel like we got a complete story without feeling like it was a cop-out or a bailout or a bad twist or something like that, which sometimes can derail a movie or a TV show completely, regardless of the quality that came before it. So that's the pressure they're under. It's going to do well. So it's not the financial pressure, but boy, this thing looks monstrous, and it's going to be a lot to digest because they're gigantic, long episodes that come out in 3 doses. But very excited for Stranger Things 5. And let us know what you think out there in Nerdville. All right, Lacey, our next one, our last trailer, Scream 7. Keeps on ticking. This one comes out February 27th. It appears to be a return to form as far as cast goes. And there's also a lot of stories about people who have died in this franchise that are going to be showing up in this movie. We've seen that recently with Skeet Ulrich coming back in, visions of somebody. But Scream 7. Now, you haven't seen all the Screams, right? But you have seen like the earlier ones, I assume?
I haven't seen any of the Screams.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll just quickly ask you. I know you work with people in horror now. What do you think of the trailer for Scream 7? Is it a good trailer? And did it interest you at all for someone who's never seen Scream?
I'm going to say no, and it's not for the reasons you would think. I have no plans to support the Scream franchise for the decisions they made in casting leading into this series, into this movie. They fired Melissa, whatever her name is, the main girl from the last one, because she was outspoken about certain things in politics. And then following her was, I'm blanking on her name right now, the girl from Wednesday.
Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega then said she would have nothing to do with the franchise. So when you have the two hot main stars that were in the last Scream say, hey, we're firing one of them, and the other one goes, well, I'm not doing it without that one, and then they move forward anyway, it just doesn't leave a good taste in anybody's mouth. So that is the number one reason why I will not be supporting this franchise whatsoever. That being said, was it a good trailer? It was fine. I don't get the references, I think, and the gore of it is not something that I enjoy. But it seems very the beginning sequence of the girl on the banister came across very Final Destination to me, and less Scream.
I could see that.
But you would know better than me, because I've seen Final Destination, but I haven't seen Scream. That one very much seems like, hey, there's no way she's getting out of this. She's gonna die.
Yeah. The Scream franchise has been very interesting lately because Neve Campbell didn't return to the last movie because she had a pay discrepancy, so they didn't write her in. She's back for this one. They probably paid her more after everything that happened with Melissa Barrera.
Yeah, they fired her.
But I'll say this, as someone who I grew up with Scream, I didn't see this as something that needed to be a franchise that gets passed on to a new generation. I don't think it worked. I didn't think she was all that good of an actress, and I didn't remember Melissa Barrera.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like Jenna Ortega a lot, but I didn't think Melissa Barrera was very good in her Scream movies, and I didn't really remember her character. I think it was Carpenter, because they did like a John Carpenter reference. Her last name is Carpenter.
Interesting. Yeah, she was Sam Carpenter, and then Jenna was Tara Carpenter. They were sisters.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and they connected her. They did this giant retcon, and they connected her back to a character from the original movie. So they shoehorned why she's so involved, and really came down to, we're just trying to launch a reboot for new generations to watch Scream movies. So that none of that stuff worked for me. I still don't agree with, if that's accurate, that's the reason she was fired. That's bogus to me. But at the same time, I think if Melissa Barrera was a giant star and integral to this movie, they wouldn't have done that to her. And that makes it even worse in a sense, because it's like, it would have been a double standard.
It was very clear that's what they did, because she said that's what they did.
Yeah.
Jenna Ortega basically came out and said that's what they did. So,
but
yeah,
but at the same time, I'd like to think that maybe I don't think this movie franchise served her very well. I wasn't very impressed. So maybe she goes on to
and
other
that's
things
fine.
that end up better for her.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Scream, but I'm not going to jump in now.
Yeah,
because of how it was handled.
The other thing about these movies now is, Wes Craven's been gone for a while. I think the last one he did was Scream 4, and I think he was intending to do Scream 5, and then he passed away. So you don't have the master of horror, Wes Craven. Then you start having those questions about, well, how much is this still really Scream? How involved is Kevin Williamson, who wrote the original scripts? I don't recall if he's back to write this one or not, but they're pulling out the nostalgia here, and it sounds like Matthew Lillard's coming back, David Arquette somehow coming back, and I don't know how they're gonna work this. And then they have Joel McHale, who they just cast. Well, not just cast. The movie's coming out, but they cast him to play Sidney Prescott, aka Neve Campbell's husband, in this movie. So who's he gonna be? I'll say this: the trailer looks good. My only concern is the new shepherds of the Scream franchise focusing more on the horror part and not what made Scream so great, which was the meta tongue-in-cheek poking fun at itself while being scary franchise that made it so great initially. I felt lost on that the past two movies, where I felt like they were trying to just go for like let's have the greatest kills, and let's, do this, like you're saying, Final Destination. Are they trying to get too creative with how Ghostface is killing people, where that wasn't really the priority? He just killed people when he had a chance. If he wasn't able to plot it out in the early movies, it would be sometimes circumstantial if he couldn't do the whole phone prank thing. So I'm gonna see it, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it to theaters for this. The last Scream movie, Scream 6, the one in New York, was the first one I didn't see in theaters because I was so disappointed by Scream 5. So I'll check this out eventually to see how they work Matthew Lillard back in, because he was my favorite character from the original Scream. The trailer looks decent. A little too many of those like boom things, Lacey, to like get people to jump, like those boom things, which I'm not a big fan of, but we'll see. It'll probably make enough money for them to make a Scream 8 and so on. But yeah.
Can I tell you the immediate reaction I got when watching the trailer? It felt very much to me like the recent Halloween trilogy they just did.
Oh, okay.
Because I surprisingly watched that. Which one did I watch? There were two. There were supposed to be three, and they made them shove it all into two movies, I think was the story.
No, there were three. There was...
Oh, no, that's what it was. Sorry. I apologize. I'm misspeaking. I'm misremembering. There were three. It should have been two. So I watched the middle one, and it was... I didn't see the one before that. I started in the middle.
Oh.
And then I watched part of the last one, and I was just like, this is so stupid.
Oh, that is a bad movie,
But the crazy thing is the first one of the series, I remember Matt really loved it and said it was a great intro into the new era of it. He was pretty hyped on it. So I think what happened is it was they did that one, and then they had one more sequel, and the studio went, no, you need to stretch this into three. And so they made it into this weird trilogy, and it shouldn't have been a trilogy. But I'm getting those vibes in this Scream 7, because you had Laurie, who had a daughter, and Michael came back, and it was this big thing, and it was protecting her daughter. And like, oh, no one's believing me, and I'm crazy again, and oh my God, I'm going through this trauma again. This trailer, I'm watching it and I'm going, so this is Halloween again. Like, it's the same premise of, remember that young woman who got terrorized by this evil guy? That evil guy's back and terrorizing new people, but also terrorizing her because he knows who she is.
Yeah.
I just felt like I was like, so that's what they're doing with this. They watched Halloween. They were like, we could do that with Scream.
Yeah, Sydney's now old enough and time has passed enough where she has a teenage daughter, and now the teenage daughter's the target, and Sydney has to come back Final Girl style, rally the troops, and take out whoever this Ghostface is, who is telling Sydney on the phone that they grew up together. Or they're from where we're from Woodsboro, from the original town. Who's it going to be this time? Because that's the thing that's also been really bad about the recent Scream movies.
Why does everybody want to kill this woman? I don't understand.
But it's also these random killers now. Like in Scream 5, I was like, I forgot. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who's like starting a rewatch or a first watch, but I forgot that person was like sort of even in this movie, and like that person's the killer. And then in Scream 6, it was even crazier. It was like, it was this person all along who knew this person. And it's like, we're getting Scooby-Doo with this stuff because they're trying to connect everything to the original killers and all this nonsense. So I don't know what they're going to try to pull off on this. I will watch it out of morbid curiosity, but I am old man screaming to the clouds or from a cloud or wherever that phrase is, because the first Scream is one of the best movies, one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. I really like Scream 2, and then it starts going a bit downhill from there, and now we're up to 7. So I'll give it a crack, but it's not the beloved Scream movie that I was like, man, this movie is just, it changed horror. It changed the game. It made it allowed to make fun of itself, and it was fresh and fun and amazing and such a success. And now it feels like the Saw movies, where it was like Saw was like so revolutionary, and now they're like
Yeah.
it's Saw 10, and it's just like, are we going straight to DVD if those still exist? You know?
Yeah.
So anyway,
The one
but
part that was really scary to me in the trailer was the part where she's watching the cameras on her phone and telling her daughter where to shoot.
yeah,
That, to me, as a mom, I'm not trying to pull the parent card, but watching your own kid in a traumatizing situation where there's nothing that you can do and you feel completely helpless is absolutely terrifying. So I will
yeah,
give them credit to that. Like, that was scary
yeah.
watching. I was like, I
Have
don't
you
even immediately you go, what would I do in this scenario? I'd be screaming my
exactly?
head off.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't
Have you
keep
ever
my
seen
cool.
Panic Room? You ever seen the movie Panic Room?
No, I refuse. I refuse to see
Oh,
that.
okay.
I heard
That
it's
was
good, but
y-
it's terrifying.
young Kristen Stewart with Jodie Foster is pretty
Jodie
good.
Foster, yeah.
All right. That is it for trailers. So we have a couple of news stories to get into, and then we'll get into what we've been watching. So Lacey, what's happening?
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. Enough, I get the point.
Well, Adam Driver is kind of bleeding over into this show now. We've been talking a lot about Ben Solo and Kylo Ren in the news about The Hunt for Ben Solo, which is a film that he pitched to Disney and they rejected over on TRB for the past 2 weeks. So if you haven't caught up on those, because I know some people are like, I need to catch up. I get it. Take your time. But we've been talking about that over there. We're going to talk about something else though, which is Adam Driver is set to star in a Netflix hostage series called Rabbit Rabbit. This report's coming from Variety. So it's going to follow an escaped convict who, when cornered by law enforcement at a truck stop, takes hostages in an effort to negotiate for his freedom. The standoff quickly escalates into an unmanageable social experiment with his captives, per the log line. So it's an emotional poker match with a veteran FBI crisis negotiator trained in tactical empathy. I guess the question for me off the top, and I don't know if you know this, John, is he playing the FBI person or is he playing the bad guy?
My guess is that he's playing the escaped convict, because that seems like that's the part that's the main character.
The manic kind of convict?
Yeah, like, because typically in these situations, like these types of movies, like Inside Man and the Negotiator, even if you want to say Die Hard, the like negotiator on the police side of things is typically not your main character. It's usually the bad guy. So I'm thinking Adam Driver, I don't know that he's played a bad guy in a while since Star Wars. But I think that's the character he's playing. I think he's playing the more complex character, the one that's going to have to go through this nuanced experience with his hostages and stuff like that. Whereas I think the role of the police team or the negotiator or whatever you want to call it, hostage negotiator, is more of a straight lined part. Usually they make that guy have, or that woman have, like a drinking problem or an estranged spouse because they work too hard, that type of thing. But I think if I had to guess, Adam Driver's playing our the escape convict guy.
Yeah, I just see him doing a lot of the stuff that he always does, which is like, I just need a moment to think, that kind of thing. Like he does like a lot, you know what I'm talking about? Like he does like, he played the cop in that Spike Lee movie where he's just kind of like, oh, and he has like
Black Klansman. Yeah.
yes, so good. Ebbs and flows in his
Yeah.
emotions very well compared to some other actors. But this show is being written by Peter Craig from The Town, where he got his start. What a start. The Batman, and he also wrote the screenplay for Top Gun Maverick.
He co-wrote it, yeah.
He co-wrote it, yeah. So he is teaming up with Philip Berrettini, who won an Emmy for his work helming the Netflix limited series Adolescence, which for those of you that don't know, Adolescence is a series that just won a bunch of Emmys, including the young actor who's 14 years old won for it. It's a very interesting tale of murder and young people online and the influence of social media and how kids are growing up now. And it's all in one shot. The camera moves from car to walking with people. Like it's all one take per episode. So it's insane. Insane blocking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you have a chance to watch it and you can handle that kind of stuff when it has to do with like kids and parenting and whatnot, because it is intense. I'm not going to lie. It's like very intimate and intense. But if you just want to watch and appreciate for the camera work alone, it's insane. And yeah, so that's who's doing it. So John, are you going to watch this?
Yeah, absolutely. I was looking into Peter Craig a bit more. I did not know that he is the son of Sally Field. Did you know that?
He is?
He is. Yes,
You
he
like
is.
me. You really like me.
You really like me. And yeah, I did not know about Top Gun Maverick. I'd known that he co-wrote The Town with Ben Affleck. Again, another top 10 favorite movie for me. And The Batman, which was really good. So you know this is going to be well written. You got that going on. And then, like you were saying about the director for the Adolescence. So I think Adam Driver's set up for something good here, especially it's Netflix. You know they're going to put a budget behind it. It's going to be well produced. It's not going to probably go through that many hiccups.
Access to people watching it is the big thing. People aren't going to have to
Absolutely.
go to the movie theater to watch this for Adam, which has been a crutch for him, as we talked about in TRB. But
Yeah.
people will already have it on Netflix to just turn it on.
Yeah, and I assume this is going to be. Did they slap a genre on this thing? I assume it's going to be more of this like a serious thing. It's not going to be like funny, right? This is like a serious show.
No, it is a thriller.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I
serious
think this is going to
drama.
be great for Adam Driver. Like playing a villain that's not Kylo Ren. There's going to be complexities to his character. There's probably going to be some sense of a come to Jesus moment or a crisis of confidence in terms of am I doing the right thing? Are these people going to make him change his ways? Like there's a lot of ways they can go with this thing, but the premise sounds like something we've heard before. But I'm more excited for who's writing this thing, and of course Adam Driver starring in it, and the fact that it's going to be coming to Netflix. Yeah, I'm down with this. I'm absolutely going to watch it. Are you going to give it a whirl?
I will definitely check out a couple episodes, see if I like it first. Even if it has that, Adam Driver, I'm not going to watch it unless it's good, which all the elements are here for it to be great. I do have to laugh though, because get ready, all of the fanfics of Kylo Ren, Ben Solo being a convict, and Rey being the FBI crisis negotiator are going to be popping up after this series comes out.
I'm sure Adam Driver is very excited about that.
Well, he kind of wrote his own fanfic, so if you think about it. Anyway, it seems like it's going to be really good. I think it's a win for Adam Driver because, like I said, it's on Netflix. It's easy to turn on. There are so many things that have taken off on Netflix or become really big cultural moments, pop culture moments, because they're just there and people are browsing. And then the stuff that they end up pushing, like, Is It Cake? Like, never does anything. But, they give stuff like Stranger Things a chance, and then it turns into this big giant thing. So I'm hoping he has a real big moment and success with this show because he deserves it. He's one of the best actors of our generation. There's no doubt about it. Star Wars is lucky to have him. Any other movie he outacts everybody in the scene with him. I would say that there's a couple actors in his age range that do that. I would say it's him, Emma Stone, and like Jennifer Lawrence, I think, are the people that like every time they're in a scene, they outact everybody there.
Oh,
it's kind of insane.
Peter Craig also wrote Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Interesting. I hated those movies, but good for him.
Oh, no.
Well, so the way I feel about it is it's hard to go into those movies after you have the perfection that is Catching Fire. Did you ever watch it?
Mm-hmm. I watched the first one.
Oh, you didn't even watch the best one. We've had this conversation. You watched the shaky cam one.
Oh, coming from you, who's like, I haven't seen Jaws, and my first Indiana Jones was Crystal Skull. Like, what are we doing here?
Catching Fire is straight perfection. And like just the one shot where she comes up from the tube and it switches aspect ratio from 16:9 to IMAX is just so good.
Mm.
Anyway, to go from that film, which is so engaging and interesting, to basically 2 movies of marketing meetings with Julianne Moore, it doesn't really interest me. It was kind of like,
Okay.
ugh. They're well made. I'll give them
So
that.
don't watch
but
those. Okay, got it. All right.
no, I think you should watch it because you
Oh.
want to finish the series. But they took, per usual, with YA, they took the last book and split it into 2 movies to make more
Yep.
money. And it dragged on. And the book itself, because I read all the books too. I remember I was a college admissions counselor at the time, and I'd listen to them in the car when I was driving from state to state. And that book, Mockingjay, she wrote that book, Suzanne Collins, after she had gotten the movie lockup for the first 2. So she was basically like, "Oh, I just got to finish this trilogy." And
Yeah,
it
I
just
gotcha.
feels like that's what she did. Like, it feels very much like, "Oh, I just got to wrap this up, make another movie, make a bunch of money.
I got
I got to
paid.
just."
Now it's time to close this out.
Yeah. So that's how it came across to me. I was like, there's no intrigue here. It just felt like she was just tying bows, cutting, getting stuff. It was just too much. Anyway, okay, cool. So going into the next thing, which not to be go back into negative stuff, but it is what it is. I believe we've talked about this before because screenwriters have actually come out and talked about this as an issue. There was a podcast, it's very small font. You need bigger font when you're promoting stuff on a clip. The Ramesh something show. It was actually the actress from The Bad Place. I forget her name. I'm forgetting a lot of names tonight, man. It's been a rough week, guys. It just The Bad Place, The Good Place. Oh my god.
So it's the Ramesh Ranganathan show.
Yes, thank you. And it is, what's her name? Jamila Jamil. She's on the show talking about how TV shows are being dumbed down. We talked about this, I think, like 3 months ago. And it was, she said that she has been in meetings and heard from people in meetings with like Netflix streaming services that said that they want content now, which everybody hates that word, but they want TV, movies, etc., that they over-explain plot points and over-explain the movie through the characters so that you could be scrolling your phone and watching the movie or watching the show because they know people are browsing the internet, doom scrolling, as she puts it, or shopping and not paying attention to the movie because it's not the way that we used to do, which we went to the movie theater and you put your phone away. At home, I'm guilty of it sometimes. I put something on and I'll just be scrolling on, checking my emails and stuff because I'm trying to do more
especially
than
if
one.
it's something I've watched before.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if it's a dating show and I don't have to watch what's on the screen, but I can listen to it, I'll be scrolling. But she's saying they're now doing this for movies and all types of genres and series and whatnot.
Yeah, that's not good.
I shared this on social media and I shared it with John, obviously, because we're talking about it, saying that I was very angry and sad at the same time because while I understand the thought process behind it, and I understand these businesses are looking for ways to keep people sticking around, it hurts me that they're making people dumber. Like there is thought process and, problem solving and human emotions and empathy that are displayed on screen that you can't get if you're not watching. And the fact that they're making it to the point that they're like, you don't even have to watch it, which is what we talked about. Some screenwriter was like, the executives told me they don't even have to be watching. We just want them streaming. It just doesn't set up creative people and storytellers and producers and directors and actors in a good way.
I agree.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, no brainer. I mean, it seems like if what they're like, who is stepping in, because it's not like Rian Johnson's making a movie for Netflix. Like Netflix isn't rolling up like, all right, Ryan, we got to make sure you add some lines to this scene so they understand that the uncle is not related to these people. And he's
It's
like,
just
get out of
probably
here.
sitcoms and stuff. It's probably the smaller series that are getting hit with
Yeah.
the brunt of this. Yeah.
But you wonder, we always talk about, well, I always talk about, I don't want to put that on you, but like the escalation of things. We talked about that with AI and it starts here and then where does it go? So if they start with these shows and they're like, well, we're not getting any pushback and people are watching them. So if people, we're big enough now, we're the top dog, Netflix. I mean, Paramount is huge too, but look, you want to play in our playground and you want to get the eyeballs and you want to get the consideration and stuff, then you got to play it our way. And if you're going to make feature films now, you got to abide by these rules. You have to make sure there's enough exposition. You have to make sure there's, enough pauses and that kind of silly shit. And I could see that happening. And so that's whenever something like this happens and people are like, well, it's just for, Love is Blind or something like that. It's like, well, now, but we always say that. And then once they realize that they look around and no one's mad at them and things are rolling, they're like, let's try that with this and let's try that with this. And we see it all over. It's not just entertainment, it's everywhere with that type of approach to things. It's corporations, it's everything. So it is kind of sad. I was actually talking with one of our buddies, Stephen Ellis, and he was saying how he was getting his kids into Star Wars and they were sort of asking about it. And he said they were the most locked in to the original trilogy in terms of sitting and watching it. And he's like, I don't know what it was, but something about that secret sauce from the old days, it kept their attention. And I think it's almost one of those things where it's like, by them doing this, they're creating this also. So that kids, like we went through the era where you did have to pay attention to things. And now sometimes, we fall into that trap where we're on our phone or we're doing something else around the house, like you were just saying, Lacey. But like kids are they're entering this now. And if they're entering it with this is how the shows are being made, they're not going to understand how to actually sit down and watch the good stuff. So that's the part that really concerns me too, is worrying about my kids and how they're going to be understanding what makes a good TV show and stuff like that. And that's where I'm at. So it is sad. And I hope it's one of those things where nature takes care of itself and spits this stuff out. Like eventually bubbles always burst. And hopefully this one does too. And just like AI, and people come around, and just like how people are going around buying old cameras now and Polaroid cameras and stuff and vinyl record players when people were tossing those out 15 years ago. Sometimes the stuff that works best is not always the new way to go. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that is collecting vinyl records. I have a record player. It was one of the things I really wanted like 10 years ago. So I got it for Christmas. And I've been building up a collection ever since of like old records. And anytime I go to a tag sale or something, I always check the records that they have. Or like my local library has a resale for like, I think they raise money for like the senior center or something. I always go down there and I buy like old records that people have turned in. And I couldn't agree with you more. One of my biggest things with my kids is not necessarily doing the no screen time, because that's just unrealistic. I think some parents do that and that's fine, but it's very unrealistic to be like, yeah, they can never look at a screen. It's just what they're looking at.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we were talking about Keira Knightley and we're going to talk about her at the end of the show because I did watch her new movie, but she had just done an interview where she says her kids' school have a rule that no kid's allowed to have technology or something. And someone had made a joke being like, watch, the next big thing with rich people is that they're like, my kids don't touch technology. And like, it's already starting where they're like, oh, my kids don't touch. Look, when you've been with your kid all day and they're asking you why you do everything you do and they're hitting you or being crazy and running around circles and you just want 10 minutes to have a cup of coffee, I put Pock Pock on the tablet and I let Daisy play Pock Pock. Like it just happens. Or we're in the car driving to Matt's parents' house and it takes, an hour and a half to 2 hours because of traffic. I give her the Pock Pock.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think a lot of people who say they don't do that stuff, some of them are liars because they just want to sound high and mighty.
Which, by the way, this game is really good. I don't want to, I don't work for them. I'm not sponsored by them, but Pock Pock is a Montessori game, which is on any kind of tablet. and it's just exploratory. So there's no like game itself.
Yeah.
It's just like poking around on a screen and they make little noises and you can go through the town. They just put up a new update where everything's like Halloweeny with pumpkins and stuff. It's really cute. But other than that, like I'm
Yeah.
very controlling of what my kids watch. They watch Bluey, they watch Bear in the Big Blue House, they watch Mr. Rogers, they watch Thomas. Like those are the 4 things they skip around on. And all of Blue's Clues. Because all those shows, which with the exception of Bluey, were made when I was little, and they're very slow. There's no jump cuts like Cocomelon. There's no constant laughing
Right.
like Cocomelon or those shows where it's like a laugh track that they always are like hyped and engaged on. There's shows that you have to sit and watch and understand what's happening, especially Mr. Rogers. I cannot stress enough. The PBS organization has a subscription service on Amazon. It is wonderful. Not only are you supporting PBS, but you get every Mr. Rogers episode ever made. And it is glorious. You put that baby on, it is like an hour. And he talks through sandboxes and like all this other stuff that like my kids noticeably calm down. They chill and they learn stuff. They leave, ask like especially Daisy, not Archie. He's not to the conversation part yet, but with Daisy, she's asking questions and she'll remember something he said 2 weeks ago and bring it up in the car being like, "Oh, mom,
that's
there's
really
that
cool.
thing that so that just like you said, John, I see stuff like this and I stress out because I'm like, what world am I leaving to my children? That
Right, exactly. Yeah.
this is what's coming. But moving on to more creative, awesome things. John Williams is doing more scores,
Yeah.
which is epic news for all of us. He's doing the new Steven Spielberg UFO movie, marking the 30th film together that they've worked. This was kind of leaked by Juilliard. They had this dinner and they were like, Steven Spielberg's doing the new movie. Isn't that great? And everyone's like, wait, what? So it wasn't like an official studio announce. It was like the director of Juilliard, which I think they excused.
No, this movie was known for a while, wasn't it?
No. Him doing the music.
Oh,
He let it
that's pretty
leak at
funny.
this Juilliard event, and then it blew up everywhere. Look, I couldn't be happier. John Williams is up there in age. We talk about this a lot with Star Wars and everything else, Indiana Jones. I would love for him to do as much as he can. Which, by the way, I think he said he was retiring, and then he's like, "Psych, just kidding." And I am a strong believer that he also has a vault somewhere of music he's made that's not released, that he's just banking for other people. Kind of like Prince.
Probably.
You know, Prince had the vault, and Michael Jackson had a vault.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this is great news. What do you think, John?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it feels good to hear. It's like anytime something is a constant in your life, it's always the security blanket. And Steven Spielberg and John Williams is one of those. You know, their first major movie together was Jaws, and that was 75. So we're talking 50 years later, 30 movies in 50 years together. Nate, you and I have been podcasting together for almost 8 years.
Over
I
8.
can't imagine.
It's almost 9.
It's almost 8. You joined in 2018, Sally. What are you talking about?
I thought it was almost 9. Are we in the 8th year? Are you counting this year as the 8th year?
We've completed 7 and we're in year 8.
That's how I'm taking it. It's like almost 9. Like we're loading. 8's loading.
Yeah, I guess so. But
anyway, go ahead.
They've worked together for 50 years, and I can't imagine 2 people working together that long. But they love working together. Spielberg said he's the only person he wants making music for him, and I'm sure because it's Steven Spielberg, Williams is like, yeah, I can do another one. But what's interesting about this, obviously this is great news. This is, no one needs to give a take on this. This is great news.
We're just hyping.
So that,
no takes, just hype.
Yeah, so that aside, the only thing that I'm curious about is, you know, Spielberg and Williams did Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is about an alien encounter. Spielberg and Williams did E.T., which is also about that. And now this movie is reportedly also about contact and not an invasion, because he also did War of the Worlds, which is about invasion. So Spielberg loves his alien stuff. The question is, what is going to be different about this compared to his other contact-based classics, like I said, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, E.T., and to a much, much, much lesser extent, 2005's War of the Worlds, which I didn't like. But again, that's also, an adaptation. So he has David Koepp to write this. Obviously, he has his own great reputation. He wrote Jurassic Park, among many others. Indiana Jones. Which Indiana Jones movies did David Koepp write? I know he wrote your favorite, Crystal Skull, but
You're so dumb.
did he write Dial Destiny as well? Looks like. But he's worked with him for a long time, and that pairing is solid. And when you add John Williams, it's interesting. I'm not as excited about new Spielberg movies the way I was when I was younger. I don't know that he still has the same fastball, because I don't know that he's had. I mean, you liked Ready Player One though, but has he had like a knockout Spielberg like classic in a while? I feel like Saving Private Ryan might be his last one. Maybe Catch Me If You Can, but.
So
I
Ready
could be
Player
wrong,
One, Ready Player One, I did like the book better. The movie was fine, but it was hurt by the fact that there were so many IPs in the book, and the movie couldn't have all the IPs in it because you had Warner Brothers kind of
okay.
fighting against.
Yeah.
So they replaced things with certain IPs. Was it well shot? Yes. Was the story good? Of course, because the book is so good. I have to read the next books, but that first one, I remember I listened to it driving to Florida. It was just, I was on the edge of my seat. It was so good.
Oh, nice.
Although Will Wheaton did the voiceover, and he did read kind of Asian accents for some of the Asian specific players, and I was like, I don't know if they should have let this.
Oh yeah, interesting. Okay.
But I don't remember
yeah.
the last time Steven Spielberg did like a big successful Spielberg movie.
Yeah,
You're probably right. It's
So,
probably Saving Private Ryan.
yeah. So we'll see. I'm obviously going to be interested in seeing a trailer, hearing that music. But what are you going to say about it? 50 years later, 2025 and beyond, a John Williams, Steven Spielberg movie coming. That's just a nice thing to hear. So that's all I got.
Nice. I do want to add one more story to what's happening because I can talk about it now because it's out there publicly. A couple weeks ago, we talked about the trailer for Squid Game, the challenge. And I am excited to say, because they've put it up on their website, that my buddy, Stefan, is in the show.
Oh, yes. I forgot
He was able to announce today that he's in the show. So that's really cool. You can follow him on social media at Just Daggers. He's really funny. He's the nicest guy ever. I'm so excited for him to be in the show. I'm a little jealous. So it's a shock to me that he's in it. So to see today that he announced that he's in it, I was like, what?
Right.
So I can't wait to watch that because we talked about how we were going to watch it together, or not together, but like we were both going to watch it. And hopefully he can come on and talk about his experiences once we see how the season pans out.
We can react to his death.
I don't know if he dies.
Well, I know, but he has a 1 in 500 chance, right?
452 chances. 56. 456.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's player 282. I'm excited for him.
All right. Good luck to Stefan.
We'll see. His character's name, he's going by Zim in the show. So definitely root for him. Follow him on social, Just Daggers, and we will have to have him on the show. But let's get into stuff that's actually out and what we did watch.
We can never leave the house, and would just probably sit around all weekend and watch TV.
Go on.
You want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So I watched the Love is Blind weddings.
Oh. Wait, well, let me just say because I checked out after like 2 episodes. So how
the worst season.
That's why I stopped watching. You said it was terrible. Yeah.
It's the worst season, but it might be worth watching the reunion, which just came out. So I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. But the weddings were a disaster. So if you like just reality love show mess, dating show mess, That's what this season was. Like, I don't know where they got these jokers from. Like, it was.
Oh, okay.
I
Is
just
this
it
is this is this a series killing season? Are people like
it
fed up?
it might be. Like,
Yeah.
I think the Lachey's have kind of juiced this orange enough. I don't think there's anything left. They're moving on to a lot of different dating cinematic universe in the Lachey
Wait,
family of shows.
there's juice
But
in that orange.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like something that like they just really
I love it. Yeah.
Eh. It's just really tough for me because that first season of Love is Blind was really good, and it actually had a couple that found love that just had a baby.
Oh yeah.
Lauren and
Yeah.
Cameron just had a baby, and it's just, like, so
Mhm.
cute because it makes you believe that love is possible, and then you see every season after that, and you're like, "Is it?" Because as it got popular, people just wanted to be on it to be famous, not because they wanna actually be with people. But
Right.
so I'll probably talk about the reunion, which is the mess, John. So if you like that kind of stuff, it might be worth sitting down and watch the reunion, which is out. Um,
Alright.
I also watched the Mickey Mouse Trick or Treat like short show on Disney Plus, which came out, I guess, in 2023. It's claymation style Mickey Mouse, like old school claymation. It looked
Oh,
now I don't know if they
interesting.
used a program to animate it that way, but to me it looks like claymation that they did a whole stop motion thing, which they might have. It's really, really fun and cute, and, I suggest you watch it if you're still in the Halloween
I
mood before
will.
we switch to Christmas, which, by the way, might just happen immediately.
Yeah.
Um, I also watched Bon Appetit, Your Majesty. So, this is a Korean series that is pitched as a rom-com, on Netflix. It's a Netflix series. I love Korean dramas, and I could not get into this one. It's this
Oh.
chef that's like a famous chef. She wins this big contest in Paris, and then through a plane flight magical cookbook on an eclipse, she ends back in like old school South Korea with like an emperor and stuff. And like they have this like love hate, enemies to lovers relationship,
Oh
time
god.
travel thing. I couldn't watch it, John. I watched the first episode and it's so long and slow, and then I just skipped to the end, and I was like, I don't know, I couldn't get into it. It was just so bad. I'm so sorry. I wanted to like this so bad, and it came in my
Is
recommends, and I was like, it looks like something that I'd enjoy.
is
It was just
enemies to lovers overdone? Is that
um,
like it's just
I don't
so predictable and
it is, but I don't know. I thought that this might be a good one. It was like typical. It was kind of like Kate and Leopold with Meg Ryan and Hugh Jackman, like a guy from the past comes to the present. It was just the other way around, like she went back. But yeah, it wasn't good. Did not like it. So I'm sorry if
all
someone
right.
did that's listening. And last but not least is the thing that I really want to talk about. I wanted to get that other stuff out of the way. Is I watched the new film, The Woman in Cabin 10, which we talked about a couple weeks ago, trailer wise. I'm not going to spoil anything,
All right.
but it is Keira Knightley. She's a reporter. She goes on a yacht with a bunch of rich people, and crazy stuff starts happening. And um, it was very enjoyable. I will
Oh,
say
okay.
it's not the best movie I've ever seen. Like, but as a Friday night, I'm eating chips and drinking a seltzer, watching a movie with no phone. It was awesome.
All
I would
right.
give it like a 7 out of 10. It was good, and Keira Knightley was great.
How was Guy Pearce? I haven't seen him in a movie in a
Oh,
while.
very good.
Oh, excellent. All
Very
right.
good, and, what's her name from Ted Lasso was fabulous. Hannah, whatever her
Oh,
name is.
Waddingham.
Oh, she was so hateable. She's so good. She's so good in that movie.
She's also kind of hot.
Oh, she's so attractive.
It's
Ridiculously attractive.
I know. People don't talk about it enough.
There's a scene of her where she's, like, kinda passed out from being drunk, and, like, she still looks hot.
Like her body, like just seeing her, like her,
She's
man.
tall too,
I
right?
know. I know.
Yeah, she's a lot of woman.
She's fantastic. Um,
Very talented, as you say.
yes, yeah. Oh man, I know you're off the Sydney Sweeney train, but
Ugh,
she 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 went to some
ugh.
event recently, and she was like alongside Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm like, Jamie Lee Curtis is probably jealous at this point, which is a lot to say.
I'd take Hannah over Sydney any day.
Hannah
Is gorgeous,
wonderful.
beautiful,
Yeah. She'll be
accomplished,
back for
smart,
Ted Lasso season
strong,
4.
passionate.
Yeah.
Love her. Go ahead.
And she's the shame lady from Game of Thrones. So there you go.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's her.
She's the most memed person from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. All right. I am excited to check out The Woman in Cabin 10. I know we talked about that trailer, and I definitely had some interest because I like a good mystery. So I'll just ask you this. Does it have a definitive ending? 'Cause it's a movie, right?
Yes.
And were you satisfied with the ending? Don't tell me what it was. Okay.
Yes.
All right, cool.
There is one funny, not meant to be funny bit that once you watch it, I would love to see if you also notice it.
Oh, okay. I'll try to keep an eye out for it.
Only just like a stupid thing that you're like, like no one else would notice it. It's a very Lacey thing that I was like, really?
Oh, like when we were watching Labyrinth and he was jumping over the farts, like the bog farts or whatever, and you were wondering if I was going to laugh at that?
No, I knew you were going to laugh at that. That's a very
okay.
John humor moment. Like if
Farts
you
are
like
funny.
if you like South Park, you like that. The Bog of Eternal Stench is definitely South Park.
We'll have to talk about South Park next week because their Halloween episode obviously came out after we recorded this, but
Yeah.
it looks like they're digging a hole to hell.
I love that they're just like, well, I got nothing to lose.
We don't need to write our episodes anymore.
If you fire me, I've already made $1 billion. I don't care. That's literally what they're like.
Trey Parker will just roll up to Casa Bonita and chill for the rest of his life.
I need to go to Casa Bonita. How do we go there?
I do too. Clayton has gone multiple times at this point. Yeah.
I think we need to buy plane tickets just to go to Casa Bonita and then fly right back. Like just fly
possible.
there, get the miles, Casa Bonita, come back.
Yeah. Yeah, when we get the TRB private jet, we'll make a trip for lunch. All right, very good. All right, so I finished Chad Powers, watched the finale. It was 6 episodes. Don't know if they're gonna make another one, but
said they are. I think they're making a season 2.
I think they said they sort of wrote it so that they could do a season 2. This isn't the type of show where people die or anything anyway, but Lacey, I'm not sure if you would like this show. I think it was good. I think it had some pretty solid and clever conversational dialogue-based writing, but the story itself was pretty bland.
That's Michael Waldron. That's Loki, Star Wars guy.
He's very good at making dialogue believable as though people are actually having a conversation. And sometimes there's certain movie speak where you're like, that's how people talk in the movies. He does a good job of making it feel natural. But as far as the idea of the story, I mean, look, it's based on an Eli Manning parody video. So how much can you do? It's a classic story of that person dressing up pretending like she's the man or just one of the guys from the 80s. It's like that type of thing. White girls, if you will. Or Juwanna Man is another one. But I think Glenn Powell was good. I still think this is a little below of where he's looking to get to.
I wonder why
like I was saying
he's
last
into
week.
this.
But Lacey, I'll tell you right now, the ending would piss you off. So if you do watch it, and that doesn't give anything away either, because it ends in a way where I'm like, I'm really surprised what they've done here. But I don't know. I want you to check it out just to see if you like it. I don't know if you're on or off the Glenn Powell train this week, but
he's coming up in Running Man. That's the new thing he's doing all press for that everybody's talking about. Oh,
yeah, but it was okay. It was entertaining. If you have Hulu, check it out. But don't expect to be completely wowed, and it's not going to be one of your favorite shows of all time. But it had enough charm, and Glenn Powell was solid enough, and Steve Zahn is always amazing. So, and then I know you're not going to believe this, Lacey, but I decided to try Lord of the Rings again, and I watched Fellowship of the Ring, got my Sean Bean fix in, then they freaking kill him, even though I knew they were going to kill him, and I'm like, this is where these movies go downhill, except his little flashback appearances. But I have been enjoying them more. I saw them back in the theaters back in like 2001 or whatever, 2002 when they came out. but I like them a lot more now. I think I have a more mature palate of digesting these types of long epic fantasies that aren't Star Wars.
A more
The only thing-
mature palette for Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, because when you're like an 18-year-old dude going to the theater and it's like 3 hours and it's like an elf kissing an 80-year-old guy who looks like he's 40, and then you have like these guys with the
I
feet
watched that movie when I was like 14, and I sat through that movie like 4 times.
Yeah, probably because that was right in your wheelhouse. Like Lord of the Rings is not in my wheelhouse. Like I don't love a lot of that stuff.
That
But-
movie is absolutely gorgeous in every
No.
sense of the way, and Viggo
Well, this is where you're
Mortensen
wrong.
is like top 10, top 5
Can I-
character actors.
Can I ask you, when was the last time you watched the Lord of the Rings movies?
6 months ago?
Oh, and you still think they look good?
Oh, they're stunning. They're great.
The real landscape shots, yes, but the CG stuff, I think that's aged pretty badly, if I'm being honest. Like I think
I
the
would
Star
have to
Wars
look specifically at that.
I think the Star Wars prequel trilogy, which came out around the same time, still looks really good. I can't say the same thing for Lord of the Rings.
I'm just talking about the vistas
Oh,
and the
sure,
sets
yeah.
that were built that are still there, by the way, in New Zealand. But yeah, Viggo Mortensen's entrance to that movie is one of the best character entrances like of all time.
I love that you're attacking my media literacy because I'm like mature enough to watch
I love
Lord of
that
the
you're-
Rings movies now.
But it just sounded so funny that you're like, I think I'm now mature enough to watch Lord of the Rings. Like,
No,
what
but
does that
like pay
mean?
attention to it and like sit through those long,
as
really
we're
long
talking
scenes
about
of
the importance of sitting through important movies and watching things fully tuned in, and you're here being
Yeah, but
like,
all
I
right,
couldn't sit
all right."
through it. I couldn't sit through the story. One of the greatest fantasy stories ever created by man. Whole
I'm with
languages from Oxford.
I'm with Randall in Clerks 2 on the take about Lord of the Rings.
Bunch of
but-
walking. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, even the trees walk in those movies. But that's what he said. That's my favorite line. But you get what I mean. Like Lord of the Rings at the 3.5 hours, and Return of the King never. I remember sitting in the theater watching Return of the King, and I thought that movie ended 7 times. I'm like, when is it actually
That
over?
movie is perfect. When he
No.
recruits the ghost army and they finally show up to win, and he lets them go, it's just like
The ending's too
pure.
long.
Oh my god.
They needed to end that movie, and they didn't.
John wants. This is what happened in Lord of the Rings in 3 minutes.
No, I don't.
John wants
saying
to be able to doom scroll while watching Lord of the Rings, where you have Frodo being like,
Look,
I'm going to go to this area with this ring, and then
anyone.
this guy's going to show up, and we have to keep running.
I'm just saying, if you weren't already into Lord of the Rings and you rolled up to watch that movie as a casual fan at 18 years old, and you had to sit and watch 12 hours of movies, again, separated, of course, there's going to be moments where you're like,
What? I'm sorry. As an 18-year-old man, what is there not to like it? It's like battles, dark knights running around, death, monsters, fighting.
maybe because it wasn't Star Wars for me. Maybe that was it at the time.
This might be the worst take you've ever had in our podcasting relationship. This is the worst thing I've ever heard out of your mouth. Is
It's
that
getting worse as I keep talking. But I am watching it now, so who cares? It's still kind of boring in spots, but
oh my god, the music.
anyway, that's it.
so
That's the end of the show.
I listen to that music all the time.
Yeah,
that
who did that
Tron.
one?
Howard Shore.
Yeah, well, that's right. All right, that's it.
Maybe an evening star. That one.
How'd that go?
May it be. I think Enya did it actually.
Who can say?
Yeah, that one. She
Yeah,
did
she's
maybe an evening star.
You know, Enya doesn't perform live, and I don't know that she's ever performed live.
I just remember that infomercial that would come on Nickelodeon in the middle of the night. That would be like the New Age album. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, Oh
It
yeah.
is nuts how that stays in your head for
Silhouette.
30 plus. Like,
Oh,
feel the
man.
rhythm, feel the emotion of new age.
It's bobsled time. Were you doing Cool Runnings?
No, that's what, like, the announcer said. I was like,
Oh.
feel the
Feel the
emotion.
rhythm. Feel the
The
ride.
one that
Get
really
on it.
was in my head was Nickelodeon Magazine, please. Like, tell your parents, Nickelodeon Magazine, please. And then,
Oh my God.
these children aren't French. They're American. Thanks to Muzzy. Je suis la envie. Un, deux, trois.
Oh, that's
Don't you
French.
remember that? The kids sitting in front of the TV and they go, Je suis la
I think
envie.
so.
I am a little girl. And then the lady just steps out from behind the couch in their living room. She's like, these children aren't French. They're American. Thanks to Muzzy. Do you
You
remember?
can probably delete that from your brain to make room for other things.
No. It's a fond memory.
Oh, mama.
A new
All right.
learning program from the BBC Corporation. I remember I went to a friend's house who had it and I was like, Muzzy.
You really were impacted by this in a way that can't be explained. All right. Well,
You
that'll
don't have
do it. That'll
commercials
take
in your
us
head like that?
yeah, there was. Oh yeah, there's some old school commercials. Like, I mean the Jingle Bells with the Kisses is a classic.
They still run
but
that though.
There was an old Folgers coffee commercial that I loved
Dun,
about this guy.
dun, 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 dun.
No, that's Mentos.
Oh no, what is Folgers?
With Folgers in your cup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, best part of waking up.
Waking
Yeah, I think it
up.
was this guy like comes home for the holidays, but he wasn't expected, and he like comes in and he starts making coffee, which wakes up the whole family. And like he's older now, but he's and his mom wakes up and she's like, Peter, and he's like, ah. It's like the best part of waking up. It's like, you love your family, then you better effing buy Folgers coffee.
And you
Peter
know
will
it was
not
like
come home.
this like deep soulful like the best part of waking, because it was always that in the 90s. It was always like
I
this
remember it so much
guy.
that I remember the son's name. She's like, Peter.
That I remember the Campbell's one where the kid comes in as a snowman and sits down at the table and everything starts melting. That was such
Yeah.
genius marketing. It was so good. Guys, they don't make commercials like they used to make. Like they used to have to
No.
get your attention. Although
'Cause
one
we
of the
had to
best
watch
ones
'em.
yeah, one of the best commercials ever was the Staples Most Wonderful Time of the Year, where the kids are going back to school.
Now. Yeah,
My
I hated it when I was a
parents
kid, but
My parents still talk about that commercial like 30 years later. They're still like, that's so
it's good.
funny. Meanwhile,
It
I'm
is
over
good.
here. Je suis la envie.
You are over here doing that, and it's okay because it's your show.
I can say
all right,
whatever I want. I've got a microphone.
and
Anyway.
you don't.
Yeah. I will say anything.
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you all so much. We'll be back next week with another episode. Reminder for Star Wars fans: TRB is coming at you early this week, Wednesday night, 8:30 East, on the channel youtube.com/@TRB podcast on your podcast app Thursday. Be sure to check out our episode from this past Thursday as well. We got into a lot. And yeah, that's it. Johnny Hoey from me on Blue Sky. Talk to me about all the stuff we talked about over there. I am very responsive and love having a conversation, especially if you're kind and you're nice. That's a bonus. In my movie podcast, Just Like the Movies, we just did an episode on Ghostbusters 2. Check it out. And then, yeah, that's it, I believe. Lacey, where can people hit you up and talk to you about commercials?
People can find me talking about stupid stuff like this at Lacey Gilleran on social media, at It's Lacey Gilleran on TikTok, obviously on TRB. And then this week, special edition of the podcast I produce called Etchcast, where I will be pitching a horrible horror movie and they get to rip it apart. So that's Wednesday. You can find it on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Etchcast. ETCH.
If you want any like kill suggestions or anything that I could like throw one thing into your pitch, I'm making myself available.
You know what? I'll tell you the pitch off air, and you can tell me what you think. I think it's gonna.
sounds
I think
good.
you're gonna hate it.
I want a full deck so that I can send it to Bob Iger and he can reject it.
I think you're gonna reject it.
Oh, I can already get what it is. All right. Is it like Lord of the Rings but horror?
Nope.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm starting to warm up to it. I'm telling you.
All right.
All right. That is it. We will be back with you, like I said, next week. Have a wonderful week. We hope your November's off to a wonderful start. If you have elections, go vote. Speak your voice.
I already did.
Be proud.
I voted early.
And yeah, I still got to do that. And then have fun. Enjoy the movies. Enjoy the TV. Enjoy our podcast. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time right here on Nerdy and Nice. You're on, kids.